Have you ever heard of the idea of self-governance for health?
Self-governance for health.
Yeah,
Interesting.
kind of a fascinating concept. It's
Yeah.
not about, you know, ditching doctors or anything like that, but it's about taking a more active role in your own well-being.
I like that.
And so today we're
Yeah.
going to be doing a deep dive into a blog post by Ira Warren Whiteside.
Okay.
And he's got this really incredible story about some pretty wild health transformations he went through.
Interesting.
And I think it might just change the way you think about taking care of yourself.
I'm excited to hear this.
Yeah.
What's so intriguing is it really shows how anyone can do this,
Yeah.
achieve some amazing results if they just kind of understand their own body and use the tools and knowledge that we have available now.
That's right. And Ira's story actually started back in 2014 when he had a brainstem stroke,
Oh, wow.
which obviously had a huge impact on his physical abilities.
Of course.
So that was just the beginning of his health challenges.
Oh, so there's more.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
It gets a lot
Wait on me.
more complicated.
Okay.
So on top of, dealing with stroke recovery, he was also dealing with obesity.
Oh, wow.
He was almost 300 pounds.
Okay.
High blood pressure, retinopathy, which required injections,
Oh, my gosh.
early stage kidney disease, and he was on multiple medications.
It sounds like his health was a really serious
Yeah,
concern.
it was.
Yeah.
So, that begs the question.
Yeah.
What was a turning point for him?
Right. What got him out of this
Yeah.
spiral?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So his daughter, Victoria,
Okay.
gave him a presentation on something that she called self-governance for health.
Self-governance for health.
Yeah, and that was kind of the catalyst for his incredible turnaround.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
That the daughter had this knowledge
Yeah.
and presented it to him.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So when you hear self-governance for health,
Yeah.
what does that even mean?
It sounds a little radical, right?
Yeah, it does.
So tell me about that.
What does that even look like?
Yeah.
So basically, it's about using modern tools and technology to kind of monitor your health more proactively.
Okay.
So you're thinking like fitness trackers,
Yeah.
at-home blood pressure monitors,
Yeah.
even apps that can track your sleep.
Uh-huh.
And the idea is that, by understanding your own data, you might be able to reduce your dependence on more traditional medical interventions.
So it's not about replacing doctors or anything. It's about being more informed.
Right.
I see.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's not about replacing doctors entirely, but it's about becoming more informed and engaged in your own health care.
I like that.
Yeah.
So it sounds like Victoria really believes that a lot of these health issues that people have stem from lifestyle choices
Mm-hmm.
and not just our genetics,
Exactly.
while DNA plays a role.
Yeah.
She's really emphasizing the power we have in, the decisions we make each day.
Right. And so, after her presentation, what kind of changes did Ira actually make?
So did he do like a crazy diet or something?
He did not do any crazy diets.
Yes. Okay. So he basically ditched all processed foods, sugar, alcohol.
That's tough.
Yeah. And started focusing on what he calls real human food.
Real human food,
Yeah. I like that.
which is essentially a whole food natural diet.
Okay.
And get this, no fad diets
Okay.
or extreme measures, just to focus on real food.
I like that approach.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
simple.
Yeah. So what were the results of this whole lifestyle overhaul?
Yeah. What happened?
So over 2 years, he lost over 100 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But it goes way beyond that.
Okay.
So his high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes completely vanished.
Wow.
His retinopathy improved so much that he didn't even need the injections anymore.
Oh my gosh.
And the most incredible part,
Yeah.
he was able to get off of all of his medications.
What?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And his metabolic readings even returned to normal.
Wow.
It's really amazing to think about how powerful just lifestyle changes can be.
Yeah. It really highlights that. But it sounds like his journey wasn't without, a few bumps in the road.
Oh, yeah. There were definitely some interesting twists and turns along the way.
Okay. I'm interested.
So we'll get into that after a quick break.
It really makes you think, what would it mean to be the CEO of your own health?
I love that.
You know-
CEO of your own health.
Yeah.
I mean, it really kind of gets at this idea that you need to be, informed and proactive
Right.
and strategic about your well-being.
Exactly.
But, let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
Not everybody has the time or the resources to become like a medical expert.
That's true.
Right.
And that's why I think, Ira's idea of this trust but verify thing
All right.
It's so important. It's not about becoming a doctor yourself. It's
Right.
just developing a healthy sense of curiosity,
Yeah.
being willing to ask questions and do a little research,
Hmm.
and maybe even getting a second opinion when you need to.
So it's really about striking that balance.
Yeah,
Between trusting the experts and then also taking ownership of your own health journey. So
exactly.
you become this informed consumer,
Right.
not just a passive patient.
Exactly. And technology can really help us with this.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have so much information now at our fingertips.
Right.
Think about personalized health dashboards,
Yeah.
AI-powered symptom checkers,
Hmm.
wearable devices that give you real-time feedback about what's going on in your body.
It's really amazing.
It's incredible.
It sounds futuristic, but also really empowering.
It is.
Imagine being able to actually track all this data about yourself,
Right.
see patterns, make adjustments based on, evidence instead of just guessing.
Think about the possibilities for preventive care.
Hi.
I mean, if we can identify early warning signs,
Yeah.
address potential issues before they become huge problems,
Yeah.
I mean, that could really change how we think about healthcare.
That's the ultimate goal.
It is.
It's like shifting from reacting to health problems after they've happened to proactively, monitoring and optimizing your health all the time.
That's the shift right there.
Yeah.
And that's where I think Ira's idea of, business intelligence evolving into this artificial intelligence for health really comes in.
Yeah.
What if we had algorithms that were analyzing our data?
Right.
Giving us personalized insights,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even suggesting interventions.
Whether you're talking,
Right.
it's getting me excited.
I know, it's exciting.
It's like having this virtual health coach
Exactly.
who's constantly, analyzing your data,
Yeah,
helping you make better decisions.
right.
But, with all this talk about the potential benefits,
Yeah.
are there any downsides that we need to consider?
Sure. I mean, any powerful tool can be misused, right?
Sure.
So we have to be careful about, just relying on algorithms,
Right.
self-diagnosing without professional guidance.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's always the risk of just getting overwhelmed with information.
Wow.
Too much data.
And getting anxious about every little change in your data.
Right. It's about finding that healthy balance,
It is.
and not letting the data become a source of stress.
Right.
It should be a tool for empowerment,
Exactly.
not something to obsess over.
I agree.
And, of course, we can't forget about
Oh, yeah.
data privacy and security.
Huge,
Once we
sir.
collect all this information about ourselves, we
Mhm.
have to make sure that it's protected and being used responsibly.
For sure.
So who has access to this data? How is it being used? So
Absolutely.
these are all really important questions as we move toward this, more data-driven approach to health.
Yeah.
And, we can't forget about the issue of health equity.
Absolutely.
Will everyone have equal access to these tools and these technologies?
Right.
Will there be disparities, based on socioeconomic status
Mhm.
or technological literacy?
These are all crucial considerations.
Yeah. While self-governance in health has all these amazing potential benefits,
Right.
we have to be aware of the challenges as well.
Right.
Make sure this approach is accessible,
Uh,
equitable, and used responsibly.
it's a complex landscape, but, it's ripe for exploration and innovation.
I agree.
So what can our listeners do if they're, intrigued by all this?
Yeah,
They want to learn more about taking this more proactive approach to their own health.
that's a great question.
Where do they even begin?
Well, there's a growing number of resources out there.
Okay.
For starters, I would recommend checking out some of the reputable online health communities and forums.
Okay.
There are places where people share their experiences
Mm-hmm.
with self-tracking and data-driven health management.
So a good way to connect with others, hear about their journeys, find out about helpful tools and technologies.
Exactly. And, there are also tons of great books and podcasts
Oh, yeah?
that delve into these topics. You can find some incredible resources that explore the science of well-being, the power of habit formation,
Mm-hmm.
The role of technology in personalized health.
And of course, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor
Absolutely.
before making any major lifestyle changes or health decisions,
Right.
right? They can provide that, personalized guidance
Exactly.
based on your needs and your medical history.
It's about finding that synergy
Right.
between professional expertise and personal empowerment.
I love that word, synergy.
Yeah,
It's really, it's amazing how Ira's story has opened up this whole conversation
it really has.
about self-governance for health.
His experience really just shows how powerful it can be.
Yeah.
to take ownership of your well-being and use knowledge to make changes.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that while our bodies are incredibly complex,
They are.
they also have this incredible capacity for healing and adapting.
That's a great point. We often underestimate the resilience of the human body and its potential for positive change,
Yeah.
even in the face of, significant challenges.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
let's leave our listeners with a question.
Okay.
If you could imagine the ideal future of healthcare where everyone is empowered to take charge of their own well-being,
Okay.
what would that look like?
That's a beautiful question.
Yeah.
I think, I envision a world where healthcare is more personalized,
Sure.
preventative, and participatory,
Mhm.
where people have the tools and knowledge they
Yeah.
need to understand their bodies, make informed decisions, and actively partner with, healthcare professionals to optimize their well-being.
I love that vision.
It's a beautiful vision.
It's a world where, we're not just passive recipients
Right.
of healthcare,
Yeah,
but we're active architects
exactly.
of our own health journeys.
Love it.
And maybe Ira's story is just the beginning of that transformation.
Perhaps it is.
It's so exciting to kind of explore these ideas
Yep.
because we're really on the cusp of, a new era in healthcare.
I agree.
And the possibilities are truly limitless.
Limitless.
It's exciting to imagine, that kind of a shift in healthcare where everyone's empowered to take charge.
It is.
But it makes you wonder why this isn't already happening.
Yeah.
Like, what's holding us back
Right.
from embracing this more proactive approach?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think there are probably a few factors at play.
Okay.
One could be the way our healthcare systems are structured.
Okay, so like how they're set up.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They tend to focus more on treating illnesses after they appear
Right.
rather than preventing them.
So it's a reactive approach instead of getting ahead of it
It is.
and optimizing health.
Exactly.
And I guess that's tied to the way the system is funded too, right?
It often is.
Yeah.
There's more incentive often to treat diseases than to prevent them.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it also means that we might need some big changes if we really want to prioritize preventative healthcare.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
Another barrier, I imagine, is just like the sheer volume of information out there.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
It can be so overwhelming.
It can.
It can even be contradictory.
It's tough to know what to trust.
Exactly.
How to sort through it all.
It's like we're drowning in information, but we're still thirsty for knowledge.
Right.
Yeah, and, as we touched on earlier, health literacy and access to reliable sources is huge too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not everyone has the same level of understanding when it comes to medical terminology or the ability to, really critically evaluate health information. And this can create inequalities in who benefits from this approach,
Yeah.
for sure.
So we need education and resources that are accessible and easy to understand for everyone, no matter their background
Right.
or their, health literacy level.
For sure.
And we can't forget about all the social and environmental factors that affect our health too.
No. Absolutely.
Like, access to healthy food and safe housing and quality health care.
All those things play a role.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that health isn't just about individual choices.
It's fine.
It's about, the systems that we live in and the environments that we're surrounded by.
Creating a culture that supports well-being
Yeah.
at every level.
So where do we go from here?
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
How do we start to move toward this, more empowered and equitable vision of health?
I think, raising awareness is a big one.
For sure.
Having open conversations about these topics.
Keep talking about it.
Sharing stories like Ira's.
Exactly.
Exploring how technology can play a role in empowering people.
Right. And advocating for changes.
Yeah.
Policy changes that support preventative care.
That's huge.
Health literacy, access to, good information and resources.
Right.
Support research, development of tools and technologies that make it easier for people to track their health.
Right.
Understand their bodies and make informed choices.
And maybe the most important thing is that we can all start taking small steps in our own lives.
I agree.
Making healthier choices, staying informed.
Absolutely.
Speaking up for our own well-being.
Couldn't agree more.
Every little step adds up,
It does.
to a bigger shift.
It does.
Toward a future where, health isn't just about avoiding illness.
Right.
It's about thriving.
Living well.
Yes, living well.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that too.
This has been such a fascinating deep dive,
It has.
into self-governance for health.
Yeah.
And, how it could really change the way we think about taking care of ourselves.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for exploring this with me.
It's been a pleasure.
And listeners, remember, knowledge is power.
It is.
But it's the actions that we take based on that knowledge that really make a difference.
I agree.
So what will your next step be?